At Indiana, 3:30, you can hear that one at AM 950 WWJ. MSU visiting Rutgers at 12 noon. Lions in Washington tomorrow. No Trey Flowers, Frank Ragnow. They're among 5 starters ruled out of the game. That would include, of course, quarterback Matt Stafford. Big Ten football game today at 12 noon. Penn State visiting Ohio State. Pistons snapping a 5-game skid, getting their highest scoring first half since 1983 last night, winning over Atlanta 128-103. Andre Drummond, 23 points, 15 rebounds. Pistons in Milwaukee tonight, 8:30. Hear that one on AM 950 WWJ. Red Wings on the road in New Jersey tonight, 7 p.m. right here on 97.1 The Ticket. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 971theticket.com.
The following is a paid program. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
All right, good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. Alongside of me, Harry Glanz.
What's up, Harv? Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Good morning, Harry. What's going on? Beautiful day outside so far, and we bring in John Cole from our office. Good morning, John.
What's up, guys?
Hey, John.
Glad to be here.
All right, top 1% of all loan originators in the United States. It's a pretty big place if you want to check it out.
I mean, it's just a thing.
You can be humble over there.
Just a number.
I can say that. You can.
It's no big deal.
Hey, John, thanks for bringing in this great team that you always bring in. Kevin Stewart, Jessica Zelke, Stewart Team Real Estate Partners, downtown Rochester. Love your office.
Sweet office.
Drove by it a little quick last week, as I was told you, but did hit the donut shop right down the street from you guys. Never miss out on that.
Yeah, you can't miss out on naps. That's legit.
And it's old school Rochester, which I love. Like, you guys sort of like an older building and then this cool new thing going on down there, and it's a lot of good vibes.
Yeah, our building is actually, I mean, the exposed brick walls that we have inside there are from early 1900s. It's really, really cool.
That's where people used to pick up their feed or something to feed their chickens.
Well, Rochester's very historic.
And
Yes.
you could see Rochester from space last night, right?
Yeah, you probably will be able to on Monday.
Oh, it's Monday.
Monday
I
night's
thought it
the
was
big
last
night.
night.
No,
All
the
right.
big
Well,
kickoff is Monday.
Well, let's throw that out there. They got the downtown Rochester does the lighting, and they keep their lights up all year, is what we were talking about. But, man, it's really fun. And we talk about the walkable cities all the time, but that's really one of the top ones.
Yeah,
we love it this time of year.
It's a
amazing.
fun time of year. I mean, it really is. It's just event after event after event in town. The biggest one, probably the largest of all of them, coming on Monday night, which is the Big Bright Light Show. It's the Lagniappe Festival, and there will be thousands of people in Rochester on Monday night. It's going to be a great time.
You know you got a good downtown when you can walk multiple streets that are parallel to each other, right? Not just all the side streets off of Main, but you can walk multiple streets, east and west of Main Street, and it's just amazing down there.
Yeah, it's an awesome place to be.
There's
Tons
still-
of stuff to do, great shops, amazing restaurants.
Yeah, and that's what people want now, that they want to go ahead. They want to have these walkable areas. You want to be able to either walk to the restaurants and, your local establishments, or park and walk around and have multiple options. That's what it's all about. You can't just go to one place and you're done.
Well, here as soon as we walked in here, we started talking about what's going on, what's the vibe, and you guys are slammed. And I was like, that's great news. Last year things did slow down this time. Rates had burped up a little bit, and it got a little slower going into Thanksgiving. And, of course, we got Thanksgiving coming up this coming Thursday. But you guys are jamming. You guys have appointments all day long. Tell me a little bit about what you're seeing, who you showing homes to, and what's going on there.
It's funny. I mean, we really, this time last year, I remember we were on the show and we had the conversation about how eerily slow it was.
Yeah.
We had that conversation this time last year on the show. Right now, I feel it's very different than that. Coming into the holiday season, I mean, the holidays always are going to slow down a little bit. That's commonplace in our business. I mean, people take time off. They spend time with their family. That's perfectly normal. That's a good thing. But this year coming into it, we haven't felt that. We've been super busy. We've had a ton of buyers that are really hot to find properties. We have a lot of listings that have been selling. This time of year, actually have a lot of listings that have been selling off the market, which...
Yeah, Harvey and John are going to kill me when I say this, because as soon as it comes out of my mouth, it's going to happen. The reason was last year at this time, in a 6-week period of time, rates went up 0.75%.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what happened. So rates were in the 5s. I mean, there's no denying it. So when you're at the end of the year and you live in Michigan and mortgage rates go up to what people perceive, and I said it just in the last hour, people perceive higher rates. Okay, higher rates than what? Yeah, higher rates than 4, but lower rates than 9. But they were in the 5s, and that really stopped it through the first part of 2019.
Oh, yeah.
It did.
We felt it. We experienced it in our buyers and our sellers. So for the folks that were selling and purchasing, they hung tight. They were like, no.
Yeah,
we're
last
gonna
year
wait this out.
people sat on their hands.
So to
Yeah.
clarify for everybody out there, the vibe out there as of today, it's really good.
In our opinion, and from the other
Really good.
people in the industry that we've been talking to, I think it's a lot of the same. We've had a lot of our coworkers, a lot of friends of ours that are in the business that have said the same thing. They're like, "Man, I'm really busy right now."
Well, I think people don't want to miss the boat. They don't want
Right.
to miss that perfect house with a very, very good interest rate. And, just it's a buyer and seller market right now. So they're kind of all,
Yes.
everything's lining up. Stars and moons lining up for people to go ahead and buy even over the wintertime. And you're right. Ever since the beginning of January, it really picked up. And it's just been crazy busy since then. Great thing. Everyone's always, how are you doing? Real busy, but that's always a good thing. Not complaining.
And it's busy because buyers and sellers can actually take advantage of the market.
Yeah.
And when you talk about how great the interest rates are, they can take advantage of what we currently have in the market. So, it's busy because I think this year people are taking advantage of it. Last year, obviously, with the rate hikes, people sat down and they said, no, we're just going to kind of wait this out and see what happens. They thought they were going to keep going up and they were just kind of sitting, let's see what happens. This year, I think people have engaged in, and like you said, John, they don't want to miss the boat. They're looking at it going, we don't know how long these rates are going to stay down. And we've been trying to educate those that we work with and say, look, there's a lot of ways to take advantage of the real estate market right now.
We're going to talk about some of the things that differentiate you guys from the rest of the real estate agents out there, maybe with just a different strategy that you guys might have, whether we're working with buyers or sellers. There's no doubt about it. Existing home sales were up 3.6% from October of 2018 as the numbers are rolling in for past October, 3.6% higher in October. Medium home sales in our area in the Midwest were actually at 6.7% appreciation, which is a strong number. You guys said you don't want to miss out. I don't want to miss out on 6.7% appreciation. That opportunity to own a house, for it to go up in value, and maybe one day own it free and clear, along with the idea that you might be able to pull some equity on it. We'll talk all about that this morning here, but there's a lot of things about home ownership, just not obviously the shelter, the roof over your head, but you still have some tax advantages out there. And we always advise families, as the tax coach changed last year, to sit down with a CPA and maybe go over those ideas of becoming a homeowner if you think you're settled down. We always say, John, you have to be, if you're going to become a homeowner, and you got to be able to stay here. Your employment has to be here. If you have unsteady employment, that's a situation that would keep you maybe off the buying chain. But other than that, yeah, if you're going to be here, why not?
I mean, why not get into a new home? And Harvey just said it perfectly. One day you may own that home free and clear. Are you telling me, Harvey, that we are not a company that always is trying to tell you to mortgage more and more and more, take all the cash out of your house because, it's the best thing to do? No. You do the smart thing for you. Some people, it's better for them to have the house free and clear so that they're on that fixed income down the road. They don't have to worry about that monthly bill. And, just like you said, get with your team, get with your CPA, get with your real estate agent, get with your accountant, your financial advisor, whomever, and make sure that you're making right decisions for yourself.
That's one of our favorite things that we've had with working with you guys, over the last couple of years, is how strategic you are with your meetings with the prospective buyer. And with the individual that's looking to purchase a home, because you're not just sitting down saying, hey, this is just spend a bunch of money. How much do you want to buy? Okay, here you go, and chucking money at them. You're sitting down and going through a strategic conversation of, what does your budget look like? What do you want to keep your monthly payment at? What's your long-term goals? I mean, you're going through a real analysis to give them good, sound financial advice. You're approaching it differently.
For success.
We've got an app. I can text you an app right now that you can fill out and apply and do everything you want. But we had a mutual client, Jessica and I, this week, where I said, your situation's a little bit more entailed. I'd really like to take the time to do the phone call with you and make sure I'm getting everything on paper that I'm supposed to be asking for you, so that there's no hiccups down the road. Right. And you can't do that with just an app.
And a lot of lenders out there aren't doing that. They're not taking the time to actually have a real conversation and go through and be a trusted advisor.
Well, that's
They're
what happens
just
when you have a
chucking money
singular
at.
point of contact.
Yep.
Somebody taking you from start to finish, okay? We take you from start to finish. One point of contact, we go ahead, and that sets us apart from everybody else. Don't pass you off. You're not going to talk to 15 people in the process. Right. You've got one person that's going to counsel you and advise you, because that's just what we do. And by the way, If you're not licensed, you can't talk about rates and programs and fees and costs and all those things. You can't.
I'm glad you brought it up, Harry. Hey, you can call Capital Mortgage all day long if that's what you'd like to do at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We have a full staff all weekend long. I know Ronnie J. I know Frank's there and a whole bunch of people there to help you out. And sit down. I mean, I just threw out 40, 50 years worth of experience right there. There is a difference. We're continuing that theme that there's a big difference between dealing with professionals that have been around a long time and the experience that comes with that versus just someone who's been answering the phone. You can check out their NMLS number. By the way, folks, that's a way to find out if someone's been around a long time. Check out, and usually the conversations, if you're not talking about anything other than your interest rate and your closing costs, then that's it. You're at a dead end. You're at a dead end road with that lender. They're not talking about different programs, things you can do in the future, and more importantly, breaking down, as you said, John, it's so important, breaking down that credit, funds to close, the 3 or 4 most important things that require you to get your ducks in a row so you can close on that mortgage.
Oh yeah, it's just there's so much to go through. You have to sit down and actually talk to somebody to make sure you're doing it the right way.
There you go. How about doing it the right way? When we come back, 248-539-9797. Keep it here. Alrighty, welcome back to the show. There you go. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Always live in the studio, 248-539-9797. Only 1 hour of the Hardcore Mortgage Show every Saturday morning. That way you can get your man cave all set up. I like the guys who call in, hey, Harvey, when are we going to talk about sports? As soon as you can get into a house, and then you can talk about your man cave and get those season tickets and all that other stuff.
Don't forget about those she sheds. Come on.
She sheds are cool.
She sheds are way cool.
Very cool.
So how does a guy from Wisconsin get to Michigan? And how do we get to meet a guy from Wisconsin when he moves to Michigan? Well, Bill is he was in Madison, Wisconsin. He knows a lot of people that we know. You know, we're powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage. And he did business with our Fairway affiliates in Wisconsin, in Madison. So I get a call, said this guy from Wisconsin. That's right, Wisconsin.
Racine.
Wisconsin.
Okay. Wisconsin. So
Racine, by the way.
He's moving to Ann Arbor. I said, great. So my friend Joe Thiessen from Fairway in Madison, he says, call Bill Baker. So Bobby and I decide that we're going to go out and meet this guy in person. So we walk in. And he says, hey, I was on the radio for 5,000 years. And I said, well, then, you know what? Guess what? We have a radio show. We'd love you to be on the radio. His eyes lit up. And the good news is he brought his better half, Kristen, in, which is good. But it's been a nice relationship. He's a sports guy. He's got his Wisconsin here. He's hiding his Wisconsin jacket behind his U of M, which is very smart.
Thank you.
To wear a U of M jacket since he is in the Ann Arbor market and there is a big game today. So that's a good move on your part. So you're a pretty smart guy.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. You know, you got to take what you can get.
Maybe take your calls here, 248-539-9797. Again, buying or selling a house, definitely give us a phone call. We'll give you some insight on it. If your house has been on the market too long, what's too long, Kristen? I was going to throw it out there. What is too long in today's marketplace?
21 days.
That's too long?
Well,
really?
it also, again, it depends on the price range. But at least in our market in the Ann Arbor area, if a home is priced right, it's going to sell pretty quickly. Yeah,
I think the national average is something like 63 to 66 days. But that's from the time it hits the marketplace until the time it's sold. So, but in your market, homes go quick. 21 days. In other words, if you have the house on the market, you're getting lots of action. If it's priced right, you got motivated sellers, you're going to get an offer within the first 3 weeks.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you know what, Harry? Here's the thing. I mean, the industry talks about absorption rates, okay? And so they'll do a general rate across the entire area. They'll say Michigan. They'll say an absorption rate of 3 right now, like 3.6, I think, for the entire state of Michigan. But and what that means is, folks, by the way, is that there's a 3-month supply of inventory.
On rollback, or Disney Frozen 2 karaoke for $79.97. Shop exclusive toys only at Walmart, like the Disney Frozen 2 Snow Globe Surprise for $4.88. Shop at Walmart for all the toys on your wish list at incredibly low prices. Walmart, America's best toy shop.
Tomorrow night, starting at 5:30, 97.1 The Ticket Street Team and Ticket Chicks head to Little Caesars Arena before the Red Wings host the Carolina Hurricanes. Brought to you by Michigan Lottery's $10 Big Spin Instant Game. There's fun in every one. Get your Red Wings tickets now at DetroitRedWings.com.
Now available for download. Always Aggravated, a Mike Valenti signature podcast. Get it on radio.com and Apple iTunes.
97.1 If you're out there tailgating the Michigan State game, take it easy. The traffic's down.
Righty, welcome back to the show, 9:15 if you're just joining us. November 23rd, 2019. Sunny out there today, and we want to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe. Always want to just a little salute out there to the people that protect us and serve us so well, our men in blue and men and women in blue. And, of course, our hearts go out to what happened this week out there. Be safe out there. If you're protecting us and serving us, protect those police out there. They're doing a great job for us, and that's pretty tough work out there. And they don't get paid a whole lot of money to go out there and protect your back. So definitely we want to, as Detroiters, we want to all sort of come together and look out for each other's backs out there. If you know something bad going on, report those bad people right away. 248-539. John,
we just went from a mortgage show to a public service announcement by Harvey Freed.
The good news is Harvey's heart was in the right place.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
His mouth wasn't, but his heart was.
Report those bad people.
Report those bad people, for sure. Hey, just want to dive into, definitely take your calls here, 248-539-9797. Facebook Live, if you want to check us out. Just punch in the Hardcore Mortgage Show on Facebook, and you'll see us live on the show. And, of course, we always can go back and play those older shows. We have some great information that we share with you all the time. A little bit of conversation going on out there. You guys are in the neck of the woods where there's some new construction just north of you. There's still a lot of new construction just north of you guys and maybe even in town a little bit. But what's going on with the inventory out there? I mean, we see across the Midwest, there are some pockets that just the inventory is not there at all. What are you seeing in the inventory in your backyard?
I think the inventory in our backyard is fairly stable. Jess, would you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, you're out with buyers constantly, so it's not depleted by any stretch. There's certain pockets and price bands that are a little saturated, where there's a little more inventory than you'd expect, especially in the higher price points. Out in our area, we've got Oakland Township, which is a high price point area. So there's a lot of homes in the, call it 800 to 1.2, 1.3 million range that are for sale right now. A lot of options for buyers. It's a very, very competitive space. So it just depends on the price band. But if you get down lower in the 200 to 350 range, there's a whole lot less inventory. That's still a tough one to find.
And you guys work hand in hand with builders, multiple builders. And some of these builders are building, they're not building $1 million homes. They're building very reasonable homes for starter families, which is a great option that you just don't see around the block.
Yeah, we've still got a lot of areas where we're creating inventory. Buyers that want something that we can't necessarily find. And so we get into the new construction conversation with them. And we're not scared to have that conversation with them because it's a good way to, create what you want in the location that you want with the yard that you want. You can make exactly what you want out there. And the builders are not as busy as they were a couple years ago. But it's still, construction's not the cheapest right now. I mean, the cost of construction, the cost of contractors, skilled labor is all very tough on builders, but it has been a lot easier this year than it was about 2 years before that. Yeah. They were really struggling with timelines. A lot of the builders out there just couldn't seem to hit their mark on timelines. That's gotten a whole lot better. So, that's a good thing. I think that's an overall good thing for the market.
Even if you take a look at, let's say, a house of about $200,000, which doesn't sound like a starter home at all, it's generally affordable due to the very low interest rates we have. And, of course, Michigan, just in general, we have pretty low property taxes across the United States. I mean, probably somewhere in the average, I would say. Definitely not where Florida's taxes are very, very low. But definitely, when you look at the average rent, according to Rent Cafe, the national rent clocked in an average of $1,476. I mean, you're looking at $1,500 for the average rent. Rents were stable, but with repair costs, higher tax for the landlords. Of course, when you don't have your property homesteaded, as you know, John, if you're a landlord, those property taxes are a little bit more money. Well, they pass them on to the renters.
Right. And you're going to pay more in rent because of the taxes and what the landlord has to make on his margins. But, they've got so many good new programs out there where you can put as little as 3% down, and they cap the interest rate adjustments that you would normally have that you don't have anymore. They cap what the monthly mortgage insurance is going to be. It's just they're trying to make it more affordable for people to get to starter homes that are going to be longer term homes instead of those 1, 2, 3 year homes. So you can get into a home where you're going to be there for 5, 10 years and be able to afford it, build that equity, and be more successful.
Yeah, you're talking about 3% down on $200,000. You got $6,000. There's your down payment. Right. You can work with the sellers a little bit with 3% of that. Then you also could get closing costs in your escrow account covered. If you're working with real professional real estate agents that know how to go ahead and structure that seller's concession, maybe you end up paying $206,000 for the house. But here you are with the seller's concessions. You're able to make a transaction happen. It doesn't sound like too much money, $6,000. Well, I'm looking at your folks. I'm looking at these credit cards that some of the clients are ringing up, and I got strangers still calling me, and I'm like, well, what's going on here? We can see on the credit report what your balance was on your credit report a year ago or on that credit card, 3 months ago. And sure enough, I had even a family that came in this week, and they somehow were able to rack up about $6,000 in 2 months in credit card debt. So with that being said, there's opportunities for you to save. If you're spending that kind of crazy money, figure out a way. Sit down with more professionals. Always at our office, you can there's no obligation at all to get that strong approval letter, or just sit down and talk about financing, credit. And I think that's a part that the other part of society is getting away from. We want to embrace it, and we're inviting everyone to call Capital Mortgage Funding, set up a meeting with one of our loan officers. There's absolutely zero charge, and you can truly go over all those things. That's what makes home ownership fun, when you have that knowledge and confidence to move forward.
Let's put this into perspective. You can go out. I've been mattress shopping lately.
Right? Okay. Oh, boy. I want to hear about this.
I'm interested in this perspective.
These mattresses are out of this world expensive.
I thought you were going to say comfortable.
$7,000, $8,000, $9,000.
That's why
you're telling me you can get into a house, a $200,000 home for $6,000, and there's mattresses out there for sale for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000.
Like, how comfortable are those, John? Tell me about them.
But how easy is it now to get into a home? I mean, that's that's the point, right?
I like that point.
There's the perspective is that things cost more and more money, but can get into a home for the same thing that would cost you to get into a new mattress.
That's what the average was here in the Midwest, too. Prices rose 6.7%, making the Midwest average median home sale price $209,000.
Well, the percentage of home ownership, John, right now, and everybody, is about 65%, 64.8% to be exact. And that's low compared to where it was pre-depression. Okay, pre-depression meaning pre-2008, because in 2004, it was almost 70%. So you're down almost 5%. Of the people that are the percentage of homeowners right now. So what that does is, that's why you see all the apartments being built. That's why there are more renters, and people have to come back into buying homes. When you talk about being down 5%, with the amount of individuals that there are in the United States and the amount of homes available, you're talking about that's a huge difference in 5%. So we're working our way back up. It's increased every year in the last 5 years. So it takes time for people to go ahead and be comfortable from renting, which is, there's some security in renting. You don't have to do anything. You've got a landlord. They'll do everything. But you want to know something? You're wasting your money because you're putting all your money in somebody else's pocket. You're not building any equity or any wealth through real estate. And you're not getting one of the few tax breaks that Uncle Sam allows now for mortgage interest deduction and taxes.
Plus, you're not making any new friends. Something about home ownership and building strong communities. There's that too.
You're telling me if you rent an apartment, you're not allowed to be friends with your neighbor?
Well, you can be. You're just not building strong communities because 2 months later they move out. You never hear from them again. But I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, I just had a client today who went from owning a home, not today, I'm sorry, this week, went from owning a home to not owning a home this past week. And she said that she cannot wait to get out of her. She signed an 18-month lease for a house because of all the restrictions she has, where she can put pictures, what she can paint, what she can't paint. So she feels like she can't even do anything to this home to make it hers for the next 18 months because of what she might have to do to put it back in the shape that it has to be when she moves out. I understand it, but at the same point, there's her mentality is like, oh my God, now I'm here for 18 months and it's not even going to feel like a home.
Well, and understand, we work with a lot of investors, a lot of people that buy property to keep and hold, right? And when there's as many investors out there that there are, and a lot of these rental homes that are out there, there's a reason for it. It's because they have great margins.
Yes.
They can make a lot of money on it. So when you're renting, you are putting money in someone else's pocket. When you own something, you're putting money in your pocket. And so if you're going to have an overhead and a monthly expense to live, which we all are going to provide to put roofs over our heads, why not put the money in your pocket instead of an investor's pocket? So if you think of it from that perspective, it makes all the sense in the world. And we love breaking it down to buyers and what it looks like to be a homeowner. and what they need to do to go down that path. And sometimes that is a 1 year, 2 year journey to get them there. But we have no problem walking that journey with them and kind of guiding them through that because we love creating home ownership. It's
so
fun.
Kevin, what happens with Harvey, John, and I, and what we do is we'll work with somebody for that long. The toughest thing for us to say to somebody is, you know what, right now you don't qualify. It's going to take you 6 months to 12 months before we can go ahead and qualify you. Now, if they take our advice and we walk them through it and they listen, then they'll be in that house 6 to 12 months down the road. If not, and they don't like what we have to say, they're going to call another lender up. They're going to take their application money. They're going to put a loan in process. They're going to put an offer in. They're going to get a bogus pre-approval letter, and the transaction is never going to close.
Yeah, we keep getting
I
those
can tell
calls.
you that's what happens.
Yeah,
right?
it does happen here. We get them daily.
Yes,
and
we do.
just picked up another one yesterday where, sure enough, I'm scratching my head here, still trying to figure out where the knowledge was. And the truth of the matter is, I spoke with this buyer, first-time home buyer. There's no knowledge. He doesn't know anything about it because he made one phone call. He thought he was going to hit one button and good things were going to happen. Not at all. Hey, keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. That's right, it's a Hardcore Mortgage Show. Be sure to call Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. But here, we're going to take your calls for another 30 minutes or so. 248-539-9797. If you're out there tailgating the Michigan State game, take it easy. The traffic's definitely all backed up. They said all the way to 7 Mile on 275.
If you're on your way, tell everybody we said hi and be safe and have fun and be responsible.
There you go.
That's the old guy in me talking.
There you go.
Just be responsible.
And a sober guy to boot.
Thank you.
Doesn't do that stuff. That's good. Hey, real quick, let's go out to the calls. 248-539-9797. Got some great callers up there. Let's start off with Tim first. We got Tim calling in from Grand Blanc. Good morning, Tim. Welcome to our show.
Hey, good morning, folks. Thank you for taking my call.
Good. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm in a little bit of a situation. I'm buying a house in Goodrich, Michigan, and we had a purchase agreement, and we got the appraisal, and it came in well below the purchase price. So the buyer wanted a second appraisal. They paid for that, and the second one came in well above. So I'm talking a $53,000 swing in appraisal.
Man,
wow.
that's insane.
Oh,
no. Well, first of all, we don't see that big of a swing. Usually it's maybe $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 swing, maybe. And you have to take a look at really both appraisals. I'm telling you that to me, when I hear that, both of them need to be scrutinized, both of them. So, you got to take a look at it, and you have to say to yourself, I'd have to take a look at them. I'd like to take a look at them for you. If you want to email them to me, I'll look at it for you. And, I'd love to go ahead and give you my opinion on it. But I think I have not seen it that different in a very long time.
Well, what did your real estate agent say about it?
Well, I talked to him, and the real estate agent said they thought the first one, the comps were really not correct comps. And then the second one, he said he felt like that was a little more accurate. And the houses in the area are a little bit closer to the second appraisal, but I got to be honest, I'm not sure what the value of the house I'm buying in is, and do I really want to pay what the agreed upon price was when I don't know the value of the home?
Tim, I'm going to let the real estate agents answer. Do you guys think that this is where we got to really pull those comparable sales in the neighborhood and try to really pinpoint what's going on? You're going to match up the square footage. You're going to match up the style of the home. What do you think, Kristen?
Sure. Is the property, is it a country property or is it in a subdivision? Do you think, is there a reason that a person would have troubles finding homes that were comparable to it?
Yeah, there was only 3 homes that sold in like the last 9 months within the area. It's a little bit of a rural setting. It's on a street with just 10 lots on it, and they're all like 3 to 7 acre lots. This is about a 5 acre lot. So it's a little bit country, but it is kind of in a group of homes, if you will.
Sure. So, that's a huge swing.
Tim, what are the numbers? Yeah, what is the number? What's the purchase price and what was the last appraisal?
The agreed upon price was $480. The first purchase price or the first appraisal was $436. The second was $489.
The thing that concerns me is, first of all, and it probably didn't come out this way, but this is what I heard from you. You said your real estate agent thinks it should be this way. First of all, they should know exactly what it's worth. It's not too hard to do your homework, do your comps, and know exactly what the value of that property is, give or take a few $1,000s. And I'm gonna say that you have a really good agent, and I would say follow what they're saying to you in your guidance, and because they're not going to let you overpay for a house.
Well, and what do you want here? My question to you is, what would you pay for that house? You obviously agreed on the purchase price. So
well, how do
you feel about it? You made the offer. They accepted the offer.
1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker, always live in the studio. 248-539-9797. Easy for me to remember. Hey, John out there's calling. John, you got a great question here. What's the refinance rate right now? Okay, that's a good one. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
Hi, John.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
John, what rate do you currently have?
I have 4.65.
And then is that on a 30-year mortgage?
Yeah, conventional.
And how many years left on that one?
I just bought the house. It's a little over a year old.
Okay. All right. So what are you looking to do, John?
Well, a couple things. I want the interest rate lower. I just don't know what it is. But we did also take out a loan on a deck that I want to put into the mortgage.
Okay. Now, so here's the problem. How much did you put down when you purchased the home?
Put down like 80. We owe about 330.
Okay. So you put more than 20% down?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, right around 20. I think it was right around 20% down.
All right. So when you're talking about kind of combining a loan for a deck that you took out and also the first mortgage, that's going to be a cash out. So we're limited to the amount of money and what loan to value we can take, do the new loan for. So what we have to do is kind of do an analysis of, well, does it make sense for you to pay cash? What's the rate going to, or take cash out? What's the rate going to be? Are we going to be able to stay at that 80% or less? And then two, if it doesn't, does it still make sense for you to get a lower rate on just the primary to help you pay that second, that lien off a little bit quicker? And, odds are yes is the answer. But, there's a lot more than just, what's the rate, right? Rates are great. But it depends on your situation and what we can do for you, because it's all about dollars out of your pocket each and every month.
That's a great point, John. And you both are Johns here. Don't confuse the caller with John Cole, our loan officer.
Great name, John.
But John, right when you started talking, I didn't even think of it that way. That immediately I said yes. There's no doubt, John, the caller, that you can refinance to a lower interest rate and probably do the cash out, but maybe get a better rate just by doing a rate and term refinance, setting yourself up, and even dropping the term on that, where you're now even building more equity. Because obviously he's someone who's got some wealth and he's done some good things in the past to be able to put down that $80,000.
Well, odds are that lien that he's got for the deck is at a higher interest rate, right? So the number one goal would be to pay off the higher lien or the higher rate mortgage first, or the higher rate debt first, just like your credit cards. If you were to say, hey, I want to rapidly pay down my mortgage that I have at 3.5% versus paying down credit cards that are at 19-20%, that makes zero sense. Because you're getting an interest deduction from your mortgage versus the credit cards you're not. So any good financial advisor is going to tell you, make sure you get those credit cards paid off as soon as you can, so that we can apply your money correctly, so that your money's working for you. So same thing holds true here. We're going to take a look and see what that interest rate on that loan that you have for the deck versus what the interest rate you have on your house, what we can do to be able to get to merge the two. If we can't, let's put you in a position to help you pay that thing off quicker, because if you just bought it a year and a half ago, odds are you didn't incur 10% equity over a year and a half. So we're going to need to figure out another plan. Maybe we can get part of the money to get it paid off and then put you on a plan to pay it off a little bit quicker. But it's all about sitting down, analyzing your scenario and what's going to be best for you and your family.
Yeah, a couple different ways to definitely do that one.
Okay.
John, thanks for the call. Great stuff, man. Hey, where do you live, by the way? What city?
Canton.
All right, great little shout out to Canton there. Good stuff. Hey, Canton's moving in the right direction too. Thanks for the call. Plymouth, Canton area, definitely rocking.
Livonia.
I'm starting to get a lot of calls with families looking to get right back into there. And again, a little lull in the marketplace from 2007 to 2012. Everyone's house, everyone's city, they're all coming back. They're fighting back. We're fighting to get that appreciation.
Yeah, John, you had that situation yesterday. You had a client that wanted to pull some cash out, and we thought their house was going to appraise for a certain amount. Well, the house came back a little bit lower, maybe a lot lower, and we took a look at
$235,000.
We took a look at the comparables in the area, and it certainly looks like the appraiser did a solid job. But that doesn't mean that John can't do something for the guy. So he might not be able to get the cash out that he's looking for, but we certainly can save him money and lower his payment. So until you get really into the weeds on these kind of things, you don't really know. There might be something we can do. Did he ever say what the balance was on the deck?
No, we didn't ask that.
Yeah, why didn't we ask that?
I don't know. We will. We're gonna ask it right after we call him. After the
that's
show,
right.
we'll
We gotta
find
ask
out.
what the balance on the deck is. We don't know, and we don't know what that house is going to appraise for. But it doesn't mean, like John said, we couldn't pay off half the deck, save him some money that way, and go ahead and get him a lower payment. A lower rate on that first mortgage that he has right now.
I'll throw this raw number at you guys, and I want to hear what you have to say, John. But $10,000 on a 30-year mortgage in today's marketplace, whether the rate be about 4 5/8, that's $50 a month, $51 a month, and a mortgage versus a deck payment of $10,000 that could be $225, $250.
Well, but then you also got to take a look at what that cash out's going to do to the rate, right? Because you just can't take cash out of your house without taking some sort of rate hit for it. All right, so you have to sit back and say, hey, if I did a rate and term and got this guy a little bit lower rate versus taking the cash out, what's the rate difference? So is there a way that we could help him get the best rate possible and also pay the deck off as quick as possible so that he's being put into the best position? I always say, what would John do? What would I do for myself? What would I do for my family?
Right. There you go.
Yeah, and that's a really key thing is that you've got to break down the scenario for the individual. And I think the best part with working with great professionals is that they're willing to jump into the weeds with you, go through it, and then give you good sound advice, not just try to sell you a product. Because a lot of companies that you call are going to immediately say, yes, refi right now, call me, or fill out my little online app and we're done.
But
right?
what
They're
happens
not going to
then
talk
is
about it.
They'll quote a standard rate that doesn't include the cash out part, doesn't include the credit score hit, doesn't include an LTV hit or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden, you gave them $500.
Yep.
You thought you were getting the rate, and then you get the, Harvey loves when I say this, you get the proverbial,
Yes, Harry.
You're
on the money on that.
Well, I forgot about the cash out. I forgot about your credit score hit. I forgot about your LTV hit. You know that rate I quoted you at 4 1/4? Well, it's really 4 7/8.
We're getting those calls nonstop. People are being quoted low interest rates. We're having the estimates sent to us. They don't say cash out refinance on them. The ones that we are able to give them the education, the ones that come on board with us, they're getting their loans closed. The other ones are calling us back 3 or 4 weeks later to tell us about the surprise party that they walked into. Not always good. Hey, 248-539-9797. Let's move off to Jason. Jason out in Highland. Good morning, Jace. What's going on?
Not a whole lot. How's it going, man?
Real good. Go ahead. Built a house, looking at refinancing. Tell us more.
Yeah, we bought the property, a vacant land loan through Greenstone, and of course the interest rates are a bit higher on a vacant land loan. But we built our house. We're getting really close to getting our C of O.
Oh, good. Good
but
for you.
We're wondering once we get our C of O, we built the house for cash.
Yep.
Okay. We paid for it, and we owe a little less than $100,000 for the land. But I'm wondering, once the house is done, what's my best, options for refinancing, lower interest rate?
Great call.
How long have you owned the land for, Jason?
About a year now. About a year and 2 months.
That's important because regardless of when the construction is finished or not, it's about how long you've been on title for the land. You've been on title for 12 months. You've got no problems, right? You can take the cash out, pay yourself off, put some money back in the bank, whatever you need to do. So it's a great, as soon as you said Greenstone, I smirked. I mean, yes, it's a great company. It allows you to buy the vacant land that you need, but you're right, higher rates and you got to get out of that. So, it's something that you just need to do. One, you're going to need to make sure, did you build yourself or did you have someone build it for you?
Nope. Me and my wife have built the whole thing ourselves.
Congratulations, man. I love this.
Yeah, that's, that's something just I wouldn't be able to do. But here's what I do have to tell you is you're going to have to get with a good team and make sure that your title work is squared away. You've because of all the money that you put in, they make you do some sworn statements and waivers. But we've got a great title company that we can refer you to make sure that you're put in the right position. You want to make sure that your title is clear of any unnecessary liens that pop up down the road.
Yeah, good stuff, Jason. I want to see the house. I want to do your mortgage for you. I want to get to know you, all the good stuff. So I'll definitely be following up right after the show.
Okay.
All righty. Hey, real quick, Jace, what is that interest rate on that vacant land, just for our listeners?
5.5%.
Okay.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, not at all. And congratulations on being handy enough to even figure out how to build a house, and to you and your wife. Salute.
It's been a journey. Let me tell you.
Harvey can't even change a light socket.
How are those?
Yeah, I can.
I want to know how those discussions with you and your wife are going during the building process.
You watch the shows on TV here.
might be
They
a
get
different show.
along.
That might be a different show.
Is that Joe and Skip or whatever the one? They get along just fine.
Yeah, sure.
Anyways, that's pretty motivating to watch those shows on TV and say, hey, wait a minute, I can do this with my loved one, right? My husband.
It
and
is
wife.
so much harder than you think.
Oh boy, that just reminds me. Before I go to the next caller, I told my builder on one of the last houses. I said, "Oh, no worry, I'll just paint the garage myself. I didn't want to pay the $400 to the painter." I got to the house at 7 a.m. I think I finished it at midnight. Yeah, it was some of the hardest work I've ever done in my life. Again, leave it to the professionals unless you know what you're doing. Hey, let's move off real quick. We got Sasha calling in from Berkeley. Sasha, good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, the reason for my call is I'll explain the deal that I'm getting from a mortgage lender to refinance our house.
All right.
What we want to do is just get a little extra cash to pay off some credit cards. We are going from a 10-year to a 30-year and getting the extra money that's in the house to pay off the credit cards. I think we're going to be at 4.325 on the interest, and they're charging us 1.5 points. I'm waiting for the appraisal, and I'm hoping the appraisal comes up to what we want. I'm just wondering if you think that's a good deal. I've been getting a lot of phone calls ever since we started this process, getting a lot of phone calls, and these guys are saying, we are wholesalers, not retailers, and I tell them my rate, et cetera, and they say, "Oh, it's a terrible deal."
Right. Well, all right.
I don't know about
so
that.
there's no way for any one of us sitting here right now to tell you it's a terrible deal or not. Right? Does it seem like it's a higher rate with a little bit of points that shouldn't be there? Possibly, but it's all about what's going on with your scenario. The reason that you're getting these phone calls is these other lenders buy trigger leads. As soon as a mortgage company pulls your credit report, they are notified and given your info so that they can start calling you. I don't think it's right. We don't participate because it's just BS, but that's what they're doing. So somebody knows that your credit was pulled by a mortgage company. That's why they're calling you. It's just a lead way. So let us take care of you. We'll tell you if it's a good deal or not, and we'll make sure that you're put in the right position.
And there'll be no cost to you at all. There's no application fee. You don't give us any money at all. If somebody already took your money, but we'll sort that out for you.
There you go. And Sasha, you're only a mile away from our office in Berkeley, so we're definitely looking forward to following up with you. Thanks for the call. It's a really good one. All righty. Again, be careful out there. Always deal with the local professionals. Don't talk to strangers. Didn't your mother tell you that? And when we come back, all your calls, 248-539-9797. $9:45, the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I know Ronnie J's there. You can call him. He's a Michigan State guy, if that's what you want to talk to. Of course, 248-539. Wait, hey, Harry. 248-539-9797.
I'm getting a little crud, on Facebook about wearing this blue jersey today.
Your Wisconsin folks are never going to let you go on this one.
Oh, man. They'll be waiting for me.
How's Ron Dane doing?
Oh, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's there in the community. He's active in the community.
He is. He's a fantastic ambassador. His son is playing at Sun Prairie High School. He's a freshman, his youngest son. And where I lived, and I'm broadcaster there, I do the play-by-play for Sun Prairie High School for football games.
Oh, congrats. That's cool.
So when I go back for Badger home games, I do the broadcast for
Friday
football.
night.
Yeah.
Really good. And, of course, Ron Dane, former running back. Was he Hall of...
Heisman Trophy winner.
That's pretty big stuff.
I know. About to have our third one. Alamichi was the first one, I believe, and then
see, we talk some sports here. 248-539-9797.
It's all about buying houses.
Hey, definitely want to throw that in. Of course, we're in a refinance time of the year. Mortgage rates are down. They did creep up a little bit. A lot of instability across the world. Geopolitical events always affect U.S.-China trade talks, impeachment talks. These things are changing mortgage rates on a daily basis. We're telling you, we're advising you. In every article I read last night, lock it in, lock in your rate.
Rates are still historically low. I mean, we did a 50-year study. We always update our 50-year study. So, look, I can tell you this. That in 1966, which is a long time ago, right, 53 years ago, mortgage rates on a 15-year fix were 4.25%. Okay, they're lower than that now.
Exactly.
So listen, if you think rates are going down to zero, they're not. Lock in your rate now. When you buy a house, lock in the rate. It's great, and you're done. And we're in a historic time where I don't know how long these rates are going to stay this low. I'm not saying they're going to go up to 17, 18% like from 1980 through 1982. For people who can remember that,
Sure.
I can.
Me too.
Maybe you can.
I can.
These two can't, but that's okay.
My first house, 16%.
So, listen, when you're in this type of historical event situation, lock in the rate. Don't get greedy. Don't be
get greedy. Yeah, and last year they're about 0.75% higher this time. So yeah, why not take advantage of it again? If rates ever drop below, if you lock in, you can always refinance it.
You know what's interesting for me right now is I have a guy, Mike McGee, most talented guy you've ever met. He's been in the business 30 years. Kristen and Mike worked together at one time, and he's just phenomenal. Every morning, this guy gets on the phone and calls sellers that have had their contract end, or it's called an expired.
Yeah.
Calls them. I'm so surprised people are going, well, we're going to wait till spring. Yes. Right now is the time to be selling your house. And because the market is just there for you. And their thing is, well, we'll just wait and we can get a bigger.
Radio 1270.
All righty, we are back. Can't even talk over this tune. I love it so much. All right, good morning to Detroit. If you're just listening, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, the show that saves you money if you're buying a house, your family's buying a house, your friends are buying a house. Tell them to call Capital, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Deal with real professionals, get things in writing, sit down with people, learn, build your knowledge bank, and all that other good stuff, because there's so many moving parts, as we say, when you're buying a house. Definitely get your things in a row. I don't want to say Ducks, because we got the Oregon Ducks who are taking on Arizona State later today, and we want to see the Sun Devils come out on top. We will talk about all of that, but something came up and that I want to talk about is, when I wrote this down, Jess, I'll throw it at you. What are inspections revealing? People are out there buying houses. Every purchase agreement, it says 7 to 10 days to get a home inspection out there. Yeah. You can hire your own heating and cooling guy. You can hire a general inspection. But what are they finding? What are you seeing out there?
I think what I'm doing now, and actually Kevin and I just had this conversation this week, it doesn't matter if you've bought or sold 3 different houses. Inspections right now that day is very overwhelming. It's just going to be a lot of information thrown in you at a very short amount of time. More often than not, there's going to be a few aches and pains that are big ones. I'm seeing a lot of sewer issues, mold in the attic. Almost every single house, 90% of the time, there's always presence of mold in the attic.
The attics aren't ventilated properly. We live in Michigan. We have 4 seasons. It's 150 degrees in there in the summer, and now it's minus 20 or whatever it could be.
But it's an easy remedy too.
Oh, 100%.
Extremely easy. People hear mold and they freak out. They think my house is full of mold.
Yep.
You have no exposure to your attic. So it's not ventilating down into your home. So you're not going to be, if it is up there, you're not breathing it in. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And 2, the remediation for it is extremely inexpensive in tune to some other repairs the house could have. But you still want to, when you're purchasing, try to get that remedied, because you don't want it to come out to bite you if you go sell yourself.
Well,
and fix the problem too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. How about, are you guys advising when you're meeting with these listing, everyone wants to get the listing, but the real professional listing agent suggests maybe this home inspection ahead of time to go ahead and remedy these things. And again, we're not talking mold in general. We're not talking necessarily black mold. It could just be some mold that needs to be cleaned up.
It's more of a mildew.
Okay.
Mildew.
There's mildew and mold everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Even outside.
Yeah. Walk outside, take a deep breath, and there you go.
Yep.
You got a little mildew. Little mold.
Yep.
I've had the sniffles for like 2 months. I know there's mold out there for sure. I definitely can't breathe. But definitely, so sellers can do these, even get a home inspection company out there and check these things out. You might save you a lot more money when you go to sell your house. You can also present these things. We said, why not if you're a buyer now? You buy a brand new house and you start spending all this money on repairs. Put together a book, put together a folder of all the work that you do in the house, so that one day when you sell it, you're able to go back and say, hey, the roof was done in 2010 or whatever it might have been.
Keeping copies of those receipts, of those repairs. Every buyer loves a warranty. Every buyer loves the seller that has detailed records. And if they don't, there's things that Kevin and I, when we're doing that initial consultation with our sellers or with our buyers, and we are preparing them. So trigger words like, hey, we had a leak. Okay, great. I'm glad that you're telling us that up front. Just write as much information as you possibly can. We'll list the house with that information and go so far as to say, we do have great roofing contractors. The first time that we meet with them, they get that full list of our vendors so that they can have those conversations. And if that's something that they don't have the time to do, we can set that up for them. If you're telling me you have a roof leak, then you probably, if you haven't taken care of it or all you did was a simple repair, depending on how long that sat, you could have a bigger issue up in your attic, which 90% of homeowners are never going in their attic to take a look at.
Yeah, you gotta set yourself. Due diligence costs a little bit of money, and it's part of your budget. That's why when you sit down with real professionals and you're gonna purchase a home, we can sit down and go over all these other things. Like I was talking earlier, mortgages, the mortgage, the interest rate, the term, that's important stuff. But putting the plan together, how much money you're working with, and preparing yourself, John. Yeah, these inspections might cost a lot of money, including a sewer line inspection or a well inspection.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head when you said that they should do the inspections on the front end before the house is listed. I think that's a fantastic idea. I mean, you don't want to go ahead and spend that money if you don't need to, but if you think you have some issues that should be resolved before you list, I think it's a smart thing to do.
And make sure you're talking through with your professionals, with your team, with your real estate agent, talking through some potentials of what could be in the house. So when you go and call an inspector, make sure you're asking the right questions, because some inspectors don't include certain things, or they don't look for certain things as a part of their standard inspection. So keep in mind that sometimes there's going to be some add-ons. You may find an inspector that does an inspection for $250, but they may not be looking at everything. There's some add-ons.
They don't go in an attic.
Yeah, they may not go in the attic. They may not go on the roof.
That don't go in your attic. Will not go on your roof.
I think it's fair to say that, and this is my motto anyways, is do the things that don't cost you money first, and then move into the things that cost you money. Sit down with your team like Kevin and Jessica first so they can advise you on the inspection that you should be getting. What issues do you think you have? What issues, so that they can put you in touch with somebody who might be the right person to go through and get you the best information for as little as possible. We don't want you to spend a ton of money, but we want you to do the right thing so that the buyers don't have any issues, because you want every change in home ownership to be a pleasant one.
And remember, it's a big protection for yourself. Things like sewer inspections. I mean, the sewer line out of your house, if you're not having that scoped, you could have a really, really big problem down the road, and it's extremely costly to fix. If you're on a septic field, same thing. You need to have these things tested, because if you have to rip up your septic field and you didn't know it, and you didn't do a scope, and you didn't check it out, and you didn't test the field, you could be setting yourself up for a real issue.
It's $400 or $500 for that well and septic report typically, but if you need a whole new septic field, it's between $14,000 and $20,000.
I saw Harvey start to twerk because he had that issue.
We had one of those this year.
Field,
we were able to figure out a way to make it work using sellers' concessions and working with buyers and sellers and smart people.
And good real estate team.
And the thing is the seller doesn't always know they have a problem. So they may not. A lot of people think, oh, well, the seller should tell me if there's a problem. They may not even know. There may be things in the house that they don't even know are there. So when you're doing an inspection, be very thorough and make sure you're looking through all the different potential possibilities for what you need to check, because it's protection for you and your investment.
Real estate agents are everything. They're very good. They're very bad. They're everything, just like everything in this world. They're everything. But if you're not dealing with real professionals, you might not find out that the road assessment in that subdivision is due. It's coming up next year. The association just had a meeting, and road assessments in subdivisions could be $10,000 to $30,000. Just look, if you're driving down the street thinking potentially of buying a home in this area, well, the roads better be in good shape. Otherwise, maybe you want to take a look at what happened at the association meeting most recently.
We'd have more and more transactions go sideways without good real estate agents, because they do so much to make sure that the transaction goes smooth. Like Kevin and Jessica and their team, Erica, Kanal, Maddie, they do so much work that makes our lives so much easier, and we do appreciate that.
Opening the lockbox is just one little thing of the transaction. Yeah, you've got to deal with people that are way stronger than that. And
that's Harvey's favorite go-to line. That's his go-to.
I love when I talk to an agent and they're so knowledgeable. It makes us feel good that it's going to work out. And at the end of the day, that buyer's calling us back 3-5 years later and saying, "Wow, this is the greatest thing." That's why they come back to us, is because the whole experience was good.
Yeah. I like when a client comes back to me and say, "Hey, I'm thinking of buying a new home." Well, did you call Kevin and Jessica? What do you think you're going to be able to sell your house for?
There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got to get with them first. Get with them first because they're going to be able to tell you what you're going to be able to net from the house, what it's going to be able to sell for. I've never seen this home in person. They have.
Yeah, it's a full circular conversation. It's the picture as a whole. You got to see and get as much information as you can. So
Well, move over, millennials. Generation Z is on their way up. That's right, between the ages of 14 and 33. I don't think you buy a house if you're 14. You can if you're 18. Freddie Mac is already and has been conducting many surveys showing where home ownership is alive and well. The general information is a very positive outlook for all the real estate agents and mortgage people out there. 86% of the people in the poll said that, yes, someday, somehow, some way, they are going to become homeowners. So that's pretty good information.
They'll text you.
They won't call us, though. All right. Hey, that music says that's it. You guys are always great. Kevin Stewart, Jessica Zelke.
Always fun. Thanks, guys.
All right, from the Stewart Team Real Estate Partners down in Rochester. Always great to have you guys on.
Go down and see them on Monday night.
Monday night.
They'll be there Monday night.
Hey, we'll see. Harvey, are we on next week?
You know what? A happy Thanksgiving. We're going to take Turkey Day off.
We're taking next weekend off. We want to wish everybody out there a happy, healthy, and safe Thanksgiving. Be safe during the holiday season. Okay?
All right, great stuff. Got Michigan football coming up this afternoon. Maybe some Michigan State stuff, too. We'll talk about that.
It's basketball season.
All righty. Fair enough, John. Way to go, Spartans there. 248-539-9797. If you want to call Pat Caputo, he's coming up next. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket.